What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name is Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, I am always the first one to admit that when we start talking about stuff after Avengers Secret Wars, we may be getting way ahead of ourselves because there are still major moments ahead of us in the next 2 years for the MCU, not just the two Avengers films, but also the Spider-Man film that are going to change everything. So maybe it's just a little early to be looking ahead. However, we did just get a major update dump about the future of the MCU, which includes the possibility that Robert Downey Jr. may be sticking around and for longer than we thought as the Doctor Doom character. We're going to break down exactly where this came from and what they said about this future and what it would mean, obviously, for the end of Secret Wars and the future of the brand new rebooted MCU. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content at the channel. That's all we do. If you're into that kind of thing, hit the sub button, leave a comment down below. That automatically enters you for our ongoing giveaways. In fact, we just announced a brand new PS5 winner on Saturday, and there's another one right around the corner for Eyes of Wakanda. If you want to be entered to win, all you got to do be a sub, leave a comment, stick around at the end of the video. We get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so this was the latest update dump coming from the most trusted source in the Marvel Scoop game and obviously the most ubiquitous, as we cover him quite frequently here. That's Daniel Rickman. You guys can follow him over on Twitter at DanielRPK, and at this point his track record basically speaks for itself. One of his latest updates says, quote, Marvel Studios is considering keeping Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom after Avengers Secret Wars and for the future of the MCU. Now, obviously, there is a ton to unpack here, so let's just run down the list. First up, I don't think anyone was silly enough to think Marvel Studios was going to take Doctor Doom and make him essentially a one and done. Yeah, I know, he's going to get 2 Avengers movies, but with only a couple of frames in the Fantastic Four post-credit scene, this guy has less build-up than Thanos and is one of the premier, if not the premier classic Marvel villains. So to introduce him with only 2 years involvement at the end of the Multiverse Saga and then erasing him from MCU continuity, basically killing him off, would be a huge mistake. And obviously in the Marvel comics, just because you die doesn't mean that you can't come back in a different run. And Kevin Feige has recently talked about Avengers Secret Wars basically resetting or soft rebooting the MCU continuity, but you're not going to kill off RDJ's Doctor Doom and turn around and immediately recast. So if Doctor Doom were to ultimately meet his demise at the end of Avengers Secret Wars, you could imagine it would be a while before Doctor Doom was back in the MCU. And it may be the case that Marvel Studios is looking in the rearview mirror from when they did this the first time with Robert Downey Jr. and killed off the classic character of Iron Man. But what's more, we headed into the Multiverse Saga without an anchor, pun totally intended, since Marvel Studios has decided to introduce the idea of anchor beings. We basically lost our major point of view character alongside Steve Rogers, and I've always argued that that's the major underpinning for a lot of the lost interest when they tried to reintroduce characters that even with their previous publishing in the comics were never meant to take the place of a Tony Stark or a Steve Rogers. And topic for a different video, there may have been a world where if they had invested in one of the first characters that they introduced, like Shang-Chi, and had him show up a lot more throughout the Multiverse Saga and tied to the important storyline that's leading into Avengers Doomsday, they may have been able to do that somewhat. But as of right now, we are still longing for that character, and so perhaps here now with RDJ's return to a classic role of Doctor Doom, Marvel Studios is saying, look, let's not make the same mistake. He can be gone but not dead at the end of Avengers Secret Wars, so he can still be involved with the future of the MCU. Now, I will also say there are a couple of other implications here. The first one is that obviously all these theories about RDJ not being the real Doctor Doom, or the fact that Doctor Doom looking like the 616 Tony Stark may be a fake out, and at the end of Avengers Secret Wars we may see what Victor Von Doom actually looks like. This would debunk all of that, right? If RDJ was sticking around for the future of the MCU and the Doctor Doom that he's introducing during Doomsday, then obviously it would be the exact same Doctor Doom. So if this is right, those theories aren't. They are mutually exclusive. Now, another thing you need to consider is that Robert Downey Jr. has not been taking less money for Marvel roles. In fact, he's been getting nothing but raises and exponentially basically his entire time he's been involved with Marvel. And so there's a real chance that keeping Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom could mean we only see him and very sparingly. because of how expensive it will be when he shows up. He was reportedly just paid $1 million for what was essentially less than 5 minutes of promotion on a phone call with Dominic Thorne to promote Ironheart. There's a real possibility too that what we've heard reported about how much he got from Marvel to come back upwards of $150 million for these two films is actually just the bottom end when you end up working out all of the other stuff associated with him playing the role and what he gets from Marvel. So the chances that we see him frequently in the next saga or frequently over the next 7-year plan that Kevin Feige has announced, not likely at all, because it would almost always likely represent a significant percentage increase to the overall budget for the film, as much as he's going to ask per appearance. And this is at a time when Marvel Studios is reportedly trying to rein the budgets of their films in to become more profitable. But that's probably for the best, because this is Doom's moment. We're about to see him in a pinnacle crossover in Avengers Secret Wars when he's going to ascend to one of his highest power forms in God Emperor Doom. And wouldn't it feel just like a little bit of a letdown if he loses in Avengers Secret Wars, but say in 1, 2, say 3 years, he's all of a sudden the villain in another Avengers film? How could it be as big as Avengers Secret Wars? And obviously that's sort of the problem, not with power creep inside of the MCU, but with crossover creep outside of the MCU and their storylines, always trying to make that next saga, that next crossover bigger. But he's about to have his moment. And if he doesn't succeed in Avengers Secret Wars and is defeated, it's not likely that we really want to see him immediately again in a smaller stake story. They'll save that for down the road in, say, 2038 or 2040 when we get to Avengers Secret Wars 2. But you guys let me know all your thoughts down below about any and all of this. Do you think that RDJ should stay Victor Von Doom since he's been cast now anyway and we're about to get that hard reset? Or do you agree that possibly seeing him very soon in a lower stakes story doesn't really make any sense since he's about to be the center of Avengers Secret Wars? Either way, I am all ears. Let me know down in the comments quickly. Let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. All right, we are still giving away PS5s at the channel. And as I said during the prologue, we just announced a brand new winner on Saturday for the Fantastic Four giveaway. There is another one coming up, I believe, at the end of this week on August 1st, because they've moved up the release date for Eyes of Wakanda. If you want to be entered to win or for any of the future giveaways at the channel, super simple, all the same rules will always apply. Hit the subscribe button because you need to be a subscriber, then leave a comment down below, and because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos, the same way we're doing here, live with my voice, and a winning comment shown on screen when there is one. So please be safe and vigilant on my channel, really everywhere on YouTube. If you should ever get a comment with someone, impersonating a content creator, trying to tell you that you've won a prize, it's all just a ruse to get you to pay for shipping. No content creator, myself included, will ever charge you for shipping. If you should win something, try to remember that and just report those comments directly to YouTube. They are very swift about deleting them, and everywhere they've commented on YouTube, so you're doing the entire community, not just that one video, a huge service. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on. And as always, if you like today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name's Michael Roman. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at IamFires. Find me on all other platforms with original music under the name Allfires. And while I sincerely appreciate you checking my music out, thanks for checking this channel out. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.